I was involved in a road accident. I was going home with a few friends of mine, and our car rolled. And on the spot, two of my closest friends passed away, and I ended up quadriplegic, paralyzed from my arms down. What happened to me on that day is still happening today. Every day, every hour, every 6 seconds, people are dying on our roads. This can't keep going on. Something needs to be done.
We're seeing huge investments in the expansion of infrastructure, investments that will see car ownership in developing countries doubling over the next decade, massive increases in miles of highway and in multi-lane highway, and almost nothing put into road safety. The World Bank and the regional development banks have a portfolio of around $4 billion in road expansion and transport infrastructure expansion, and something between 10 and 20% of the portfolio for infrastructure ought to be put on safety.
Well, the global campaign Make Roads Safe, what we want to see is a marked improvement in the way in which road networks are designed and maintained to maximize the safety of the road network for all road users, in particular vulnerable road users.
The Make Roads Safe campaign is very critical, very central, I think, to what we're trying to do in this country, need to do in this country. We're not going to succeed in sustaining development, in overcoming the huge inequalities in many of our societies, unless we also address the infrastructural realities that perpetuate and reproduce these high levels of lack of safety, lack of security that poor people encounter on a daily basis. It's not just a traffic matter, it's a human rights issue, and it's a developmental issue. It goes to the heart of many of the developmental challenges that we've got here in South Africa.
We're here in Cape Town, just on the outskirts, and I think if you look around, this is a community where their homes and their schools are over the other side. A high-speed road, cars not stopping, not slowing down, nothing to tell them and to stop them. And these kids, if you look at them, they are going to cross this heavy junction looking from right, left, behind, with nothing to help them. And they do this every morning. Somewhere around the world at this moment, sadly, there is a child hurt or killed just because they're going to school. For God's sake, we have to stop this. So right now, what these poor volunteers, NGOs, mothers, concerned people are doing are trying to rectify a situation. They were very pleased that we're here on the Make Roads Safe campaign because they would love for their voices to be heard because they need to protect their children. They're fighting for very basic human rights. They have to put in pavements that should have been there. They should have put in pedestrian crossings. The ramps should have been there. And if we had gone in right at the beginning where they are planning the roads, because it is very obvious that they should go hand in hand, that planning and urbanization should all happen together.
Make Roads Safe report, crucially it does underline, I think, the need to address infrastructure and to get the technical fixes right so that our roads are going to be safe for our children and for our community. And that's where the IRAP program is really helping to make a difference. What we seek to do is look at roads and make an assessment of where the problems are, and then we can work with governments to help remedy the situations.
The IRAP program is simple. It's getting organised to make roads safe. When an IRAP project begins, we come into the country and work very closely with the government and non-government agencies in that country. We equip a vehicle with video equipment and travel the road network. That information we can use to assess the conditions of the road. We inspect over 33 different attributes as we drive through In urban areas, we pick up pedestrian movements and how pedestrians are provided for. We pick up the intersection features and how the different turning movements are catered for.
We want to change the mindset of future engineers, future planners, future economists, future politicians, so that they will be more sympathetic in providing safer road environment, creating 5-star road user in a 5-star vehicle on the 5-star roads, and make the road safe. And this is the mission.
We are spending a lot of money on today in the developed countries is actually rebuilding and modifying what we did wrong in the beginning. That if we have done it correctly from the beginning, we would have not only saved a lot of lives, it wouldn't have cost very much. I think that those countries now that are investing heavily in Africa, in Asia and other parts of the world can really benefit from that kind of lesson. Applying the correct design principles that are really not costing very much, but we need to be very serious about adopting the best and the scientific methods that we really have around there. That's going to really make the change out there.
In Vietnam, you can see that more than 12,000 people die on the road every year, and that costs our country economically $880 million US dollar, up to $1 billion US dollar. That is too much for the country. And when we design the road, what we care about road safety can save not only the life of our people, but also a lot of money for the country.
The significance of infrastructure safety, which is being very much emphasised by the Make Roads Safe report and the Make Roads Safe campaign, is that infrastructure safety is something that we can begin to work on straight away. In effect, we could say metaphorically, and infrastructure safety is the vaccine. And if we mobilise resources, we will get big benefits. We have the political mandate for action at a global level through the UN resolutions. But what we lack is the funding and the technical support to make that a reality.
It's important that the Make Roads Safe campaign has got as far as getting the UN General Assembly debate. It's also important that that's followed by a World Summit, at least at ministerial level, to put this problem on a par with many other problems that have achieved that kind of profile. The ministerial conference, the UN General Assembly debate are essential parts of the strategy to begin making significant, long-term, sustained inroads into the problem.
The Commission set out to establish a number of objectives. One was to get public attention to the issue, and I think here in the United Nations, with this huge debate that took place and this enormous backing for the resolution, that if we can give a lead at an international level, then it won't just be a talking shop, it'll be a programme of action.
We have to address road safety as a global issue. But developing world is still not included. And as you see that the developed world has reduced its fatalities, and we have 85% of the problem. We actually need to be incorporated. But we need to build the infrastructure of these countries in traffic management, in traffic engineering. And that's what has to be done. You need to build such roads which build the communities, which integrate us, which builds tourism, which builds business. And road safety has to be a component of everything. And that's what Make Roads Safe campaign is all about. That we need to invest together, globally, at least 10% of the infrastructure costs must go into road safety management.